Welcome back, YouTube family. Brett Seidl here, and we have a really good one for you today. When homeowners think renovation, and they hear and think the word contractor, it so often floods all of the emotions of anxiety when they think that they have to select and find and work with a contractor, because unfortunately there's been a lot that has just done a disservice to the industry. So today I have someone here with me who is one of my favorite contractors in the area, and we're gonna talk all things contractors, how to find them, what to look for, what does the process look like, and so much more. I'm Brett Seidl, the owner and principal designer of Lewis & Rose Interiors, a residential interior design firm located in booming Frisco, Texas. We are so excited to bring you everything from practical design tips and tricks, to fun room reveals, to informative interviews, and of course, a whole lot of really beautiful designs. Like, subscribe, and then comment with your thoughts and questions. We love hearing from you and can't wait to share with you some truly fun and inspiring content. So welcome. All right, so today I am sitting down with Blake Petitt. He is the owner of Sugar Home Remodeling, and I have worked with you now, I guess we're at about a year.
About a year.
We've done several projects. We are giving you hopefully not too many projects, because we always get asked by homeowners, because they feel the anxiety of having to find a great contractor, they always ask us, hey, who do you recommend? I'm the type of person that I don't recommend someone unless I just think they're the bee's knees. So obviously I think that Blake and his company are the bee's knees. So Blake, tell me a little bit just quickly about your background. How long have you been in the industry? What does Sugar Home specialize in?
Yes, no, happy to do it. So Sugar Home, we've been in business since 2019. But you know, my experience in the construction business goes back to college, back in Mississippi at Mississippi State. Every summer, what I would do is work on building houses. A roommate of mine in college there, his dad was a developer and home builder. And so that was my summer job out there in the Mississippi heat. You know, every summer was building homes. And, so my experience goes back to then. And just always had a passion for the before and after of making people happy and transforming spaces. Yeah. And so, that's the biggest thing is it's not brain surgery what we do, and it shouldn't be.
Even though sometimes it feels like it.
It's doing what's right for the customer, and, keeping promises and being trustworthy and maintaining a higher level of quality, than one would typically expect from most contractors.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you guys kind of specialize in, or would you even say that you specialize in anything like exterior, interior, roofing, landscape? Kind of a lot of homeowners think contractor and they think that it's kind of an all-encompassing. So what do you guys do?
Yes, our specialty is working on the interior of homes. It's a special skill set that takes a lot of experience, and you have to be used to working on the inside of people's homes. Unfortunately, I've met a lot of customers that have worked with roofing companies and other contractors that more specialize working on the exterior of a house, which is completely a different animal. And so taking the approach of keeping the house clean, of getting things scheduled to where it works and coordinates well with the clients, and then the attention to detail. Which there's sometimes I question a lot why I chose to work on the interior of homes all the time.
Because of the amount of detail?
Because of the amount of detail. It's a lot easier to work on the exterior of a home. But it's also, that is what fuels me. It makes me happy, is being able to do stuff that not everyone does and do it extremely well.
Yeah, I love that.
And I wish I specialized in more specific trades also.
Yeah.
But we do everything from flooring to countertops to cabinets to painting to you name it.
Yep.
Everything remodel on the interior of a house and on the exterior, but primarily on the interior.
Yeah, it's very similar to us. We kind of pitch to people like, if you walk in a house and you can see it, we can design it. So kind of in your case, if you walk in a house and you either want it or can see it, you can construct it and build it, essentially, right?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible, which we love as designers because we cook up all kinds of crazy things for you. So you already kind of segued into my next portion, which is like hiring considerations. Okay, so when a homeowner is ready to have a renovation and they're like, okay, how and where do we find a contractor? What do you recommend to them on where and how to find a contractor?
Yes, I mean, a majority of our business comes from referrals, believe it or not. I mean, you know, our clients refer their friends, refer their family, and that's a big way. And so referrals are a great way to go, but I would also double check that to make sure, because contractors, I mean, they can do a great job on one job and a terrible job on another job. You want to go with someone that you meet that's trustworthy. You know, you kind of have a gut feeling for people when you first meet them, but don't just go with that gut feeling either. You want to, you know, be able to see examples of their work. Go read Google reviews. Yes. Extremely important, because people that are unhappy will go write negative reviews on companies. And so if there's a contractor out there that has a lot of negative reviews, there's a reason that they do. A company that has a great reputation online, there's a reason they have a great reputation online. It's by doing what's right and following through with promises that are made.
Yeah, that's great. I love all of that. What is something, okay, so they've been referred, they've found a couple contractors, they have them out to their house. What are some blaring or maybe not blaring red flags as they have a contractor walking them through that they should kind of be on the lookout for? Because that's why people feel the anxiety, because we've all heard the horror stories.
Yes.
So like, what are some red flags you're like, man, I wish other contractors didn't do this because it makes all of us look bad. Yeah. So what should they look for?
I'll say this, especially with larger remodels, someone that's quick to throw out pricing and quotes and doesn't spend much time going through the details.
That's
because
good.
Every detail affects the end price. All right, so in a room, are we doing 2 outlets in a room, or are we doing 4 outlets in a room? Are we adding 6 recessed lights, or are we adding 2 recessed lights and a chandelier? You know, what type of countertops being used? What style cabinets being used? You know, is it paint grade? Is it stain grade? You know, and we have to go through every detail, because what we want to do is provide clients with a detailed scope of work with pricing to where in the end we are going to be very, very close to that expected price.
Yes.
And along the way, if it's not, we have had discussions along the way of saying, hey, this is going to be extra. This was not a part of the initial scope of work. So then people are aware of it. But I've heard from a lot of clients of people that have just come in, thrown out a price, and it could be an astronomically high price, or it could be an extremely low price.
Right. They lowball
Both of those
them.
are red flags.
Yes.
Okay, because there has to be equations, there has to be math behind the proposal. And I can't just pull that out of a hat and give it to you, because of material costs, because of, you know, time, of project management, painting, the different. I mean, are we painting the whole house one color, or are we using different colors? Or we're painting a kitchen, will the island be a different color, you know, than the perimeter? All of those things take more time and have to cost more or cost less. So those would be the big red flags for me. Is someone that you don't connect with initially. Someone that doesn't feel like they even have time to go through the details to provide you with an accurate quote. Because if they don't have time for you now, they're not going to have time for you later when you're blowing them up wondering where the workers are.
That's good.
So, you know, that's it.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's, you know, one reason that we love working with you guys. So our process is, when we're doing a big renovation, we like a contractor to be brought in from the beginning, because it's a team effort, and like, we're on each other's speed dials, right? We communicate all the time. And so we bring you guys in for kind of what we call the ballpark bid.
Right.
Before we're picking all the finishes, but just allowing, because budget is something that just one reason why we like working with you guys, because you are so detailed in making sure that at the end of the project, the client's like, not like, oh my gosh, how is this $100,000 over what I anticipated?
Right.
So with you guys, like, we always do what we call the ballpark bid. We'll walk through, like, okay, we know we're tearing this down and tearing this down, do standard kind of average pricing for countertops. Right. And then once we do the design, we'll come back for that tight final bid. And you guys are so good at what you do, is almost so dang close. And the differences are if we're picking higher end finishes or lower end finishes. So yeah, I think that's really important. I think that's good for them to know of red flags. Like, look at the proposal, see how detailed or not detailed that they are. Yeah. Okay, so let's kind of move into that a little bit, talking pricing more. I know just like in the design industry, every contractor does it just a little bit different. So tell me, like if you're walking through a project with a client and you send them a proposal, how do you guys break down your proposal? And do you guys do it kind of, is that industry average and standard, or do you guys do it a little bit different? What can they expect?
So breaking down a proposal, I mean, once again, it comes to the application of the product, of, what's it going to take to install the product. So for instance, if we're doing floors, are we doing, solid hardwood floors, and is it on the, on the first level of a house with slab underneath, to where we need to put, plywood subfloor underneath and then do the nail down hardwood, and then are we staining, hand scraping, or are we going with the natural color?
Yeah.
Or are we doing click lock luxury vinyl planks, which is an easier install, right? So what we typically do is we price all of our work based off of our labor. And that's what's great about working with a designer like you all, is because you're picking out all the product. And that cost is separate. But to me, it doesn't matter if we're doing hardwood floor, or we're doing luxury vinyl planks and they're click lock. Okay, if the client decides to go with one that costs $10 a square foot, or if they go with one that costs $5 a square foot, the application is the same for me. So, we really take a detailed look at our business to figure out, how to price things accordingly. When we're doing tile, is it porcelain, is it glass, or is it marble? Is it going to be herringbone? Or is it going to be regular Subway 50-50 split?
Right.
All of those details are extremely important when it comes to accurately calculating the labor costs.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know if it's the same or different than everybody else in our industry. I would like to say that we're different, because I don't think everybody in the industry takes as much time as we do to go through the detail and measure their square footage of absolutely everything. When it comes to countertops, for instance, are we doing a regular square edge countertop on the island, or are we doing a 6 millimeter mitered edge?
I think that's one thing that I love in y'all's proposals that really helps the homeowner know how to make sure that their ideas will be on budget. That as a designer, like if we're brought in, of course, we help with that, but just the level of detail. So if it's herringbone, here's your price. Okay, if they see everything and they need to pull back, then you guys can price them. Okay, if you don't do it herringbone, so it's very line itemed so that they have a full picture, because we have worked in the past with contractors who bulk price everything. And then things will be pulled out, and then a client gets to the end and they're like, wait, we pulled out half of it, but somehow it's like magically still the same price. So I think that's key. I love that you guys do such detailed pricing. Okay, how do you guys handle kind of the unexpected / typical unexpected costs that come with a project, whether that's change orders or like surprises when you're opening up walls? How do you guys go about having those conversations and setting expectations?
So let me say this. That's something I've had to get better at. Okay, because unfortunately for myself, when I'm at fault, I eat the cost. So I had to learn that early on, is if I didn't clearly communicate with the client on change orders or different things that we needed to do in order to do the project right that we weren't expecting, then it's tough to come back later and ask for that money.
Right.
Because I'm also the type of person that puts my head down and we work. We want to get the job done. So when there's a little something here, a little something there, we just do it.
Right.
Right? Well, then when you add up 20 different little things, then you're like, oh man, I just lost a lot of money.
Dang it. Yep.
So I've had to get better at that. So the change orders along the process, along the way is extremely important. I take a picture. If the client's there, I'll show them, hey, we're going to need to do this, and this is how much it's going to be. You can sign off here. And I actually even keep a separate running invoice of all the change orders. So here's the initial scope of work, and then here's the add-ons. Yep. So at any point, when that gets updated, resend to the client so they know exactly what it is along the way. Because there's also things that change throughout a project, But that's one thing I love about you all, is it's usually buttoned up. Whenever we're flying by the seat of our pants and working with somebody that doesn't have everything buttoned up, I can't tell you how many times, clients are like, hey, we were thinking this, but I actually think we want to do this.
Yeah.
And then that's a process.
Yeah.
And so
The snowball effect.
the snowball effect, yes. But that's it. I mean, I've had to really work on that, and that's what we've gotten very good at is we don't want there to be any surprises.
Are there certain like eras, decade of houses where like you have to set expectations like, okay, we're going to do this bathroom, but like this is a 1950s house. You need to set aside like 20% contingency because there's a strong likelihood of A, B, C, and D. Do you usually set that expectation at the beginning, and what does that look like?
Yes.
Okay.
Older houses, I mean, especially when you get in, I would say anywhere pre-1970.
Gets tricky.
Very tricky. I can't tell you how many plants I've seen growing in walls of houses pre-1970.
Have you seen any skeletons yet?
No, I have not yet. I've seen odd stuff. There's tearing stuff off and finding license plates and everything else that are back from 1940 that were hidden behind something, and you wonder why.
That's funny.
But yes, those kind of houses. What's extremely important is that we've worked with clients that they have a budget in mind, and unfortunately, those budgets, I just tell them from the start, more than likely, you're not going to get them to where they need to be. There's times where people are looking at flipping a house, and I wish they would always call and talk to me before they purchase the house to flip, because there's so many things when you get in an older house like that. There's a lot of foundation issues. Foundations were done differently back then. And then you also have, the plumbing. When you've got the cast iron plumbing compared to all the new PEX lines and everything else, those a lot of times corrode. A lot of times they're built and actually channeled under the ground.
Yeah.
And so over time they corrode. That can be a big expense. So the foundation and then like I said, when you're opening up walls, there's no telling what you're going to find.
Yeah, I'm like already thinking dollar signs, all the dollar signs of all those things you just said in my head. Yeah.
I have literally seen, what was hoped to be a $60,000 remodel be $40,000 into it before we even started the fun stuff.
Because of
foundation, because of plumbing. When you get the foundation lifted, guess what? All the plumbing pipes under there pop.
Yes.
So then all of the plumbing has to be redone.
Yes.
Yeah. So
all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff.
Nobody wants to talk about, but
yeah.
you have to. You have to. Yes.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot of contractors that I know that I've worked with. They don't set that expectation for certain, types of houses and areas, and then those things happen. And those conversations are devastating for homeowners anyway. So it's just setting the expectation. So I think that's why.
Yes. Very important.
Okay, let's move on to project management and communication. So on your projects, or really kind of in general, a good contractor, like who is the main point of communication? Who should the homeowner be calling? She's like, oh my gosh, my pipe's bursting, all things, or hey, I want to add to the scope. Who should they be calling?
Yeah, well, I'm hands-on with all of our clients, and so I personally manage all of our projects. And so fortunately and unfortunately, those calls always come to me.
It's all you.
Yes. But I like it because I then have control over making sure I get it taken care of quickly.
Yeah.
There's going to be questions, and there's going to be mistakes that we might even make. Never once have I claimed to be perfect, okay? But one thing I can always promise is that if we don't do something right, or there is something wrong, we're going to make it right. Yeah. And that's all you're looking for in a contractor. If you're looking for the perfect contractor that never makes a mistake, I would rather you find another contractor.
Like they don't know this.
But
because you're human. Everybody's human. Yes.
But we try to limit those, and yes, that's it. Client communication. They want to know what schedule is. They want to know when people are going to be out. People are living their lives around this work being done.
Yes. Okay. So that's my next question is. So let's just say homeowners like, I want to tear out my kitchen and my bathroom and this, and this. Let's just do it all at the same time. But I really want to live here during it. What do you guys say to the client?
I always set the right expectations from the start. People can make their own decisions on whether they want to live there or not. I like doing things in phases if they want to live there.
Smart.
The reason is well, one, I tell anybody, if you're going through a kitchen remodel, it's just going to be a terrible experience. Like, you don't realize how much you use your kitchen, how great it is to be able to go turn your faucet on and get water, and walk in there to the fridge or go cook something or put something in the microwave, whatever it is. When that's eliminated and you don't have that for a few weeks, That is rough.
Yeah, we were just at a walkthrough last week, and you said that exact thing when they asked, like, I'm gonna shoot you straight.
I am not going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
Now we try to make it as painless as possible. And that's where it comes with the schedule side, right? When we're doing a complete gut of a kitchen, there's no way to make it to where it is painless. If we're just replacing countertops and we're painting cabinets, that's something that we can do to be sure that we get our cabinets, the countertops removed, the countertops back on, the new ones, and then the plumbing done the following day, so there's minimal time out of the kitchen. But the full remodels, one thing I love about bathroom remodels, let me go here, is there's always another bathroom to use in the house.
Right.
The kitchen, there's one kitchen. But that's where it's very important to manage a project efficiently, is to get people back in their kitchen as quickly as possible while maintaining that quality of work, extremely important. There was nothing worse I could imagine as a homeowner sitting there without a kitchen and wondering why there's no workers showing up. I would not want to be on the other end of that call.
Yes.
So fortunately, I'm not.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So whether it's a project that's run really efficiently or one that's not, but you guys run yours pretty efficiently, what are things that are the typical cause of delays in projects?
The typical cause of delays, from my perspective, it's interesting. I always tell everybody when we're working with them that I want all materials there on site. I want everything. I want all the tile selections. I want all the LVP or the hardwoods. We'll do the hardwoods, but all plumbing fixtures and everything else. So there can be things that you don't expect that could delay a project, but that's truthfully more rare. The biggest delay for us a lot of times is the customer not having the tile there on time.
Plug for us, by the way. We handle all of that for
Correct.
you. Got a gal that does all the logistics, so.
Yeah, or the square footage isn't right. We need to get more, whatever else it may be. Those are the type of things that delay. And that's what's awesome about working with you all, is because a lot of homeowners, they don't know how to properly measure and get the right overage, for different cuts and everything else. And so that's the biggest delay. If we have everything picked out, and that's what's amazing, is when you all provide us, what do you call it? The
finished schedules,
the finished schedules,
construction set,
the design and the drawings and everything else. It leaves nothing to the imagination, and everything is there and it's buttoned up. We can get through your projects quickly because of it. Yeah. And so that's the biggest delays we see on our end, because we try to get in and do a good job for clients. We're not one that does too many jobs at one time and spreads it out. And instead of a project supposed to take 10 weeks, it takes 24 weeks. That's not what we do. Right.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about just post-project. So scenario, let's say everything's buttoned up, punch list completed, 3 months, 6 months down the line, a pipe burst, or one of, the countertop chips or something like that. How do you guys in general handle kind of those post-project inquiries to you, like, hey, can you fix this? Are you the one to fix it, or is that on a homeowner?
We stand behind our work. So if anybody calls us, and unfortunately I've had that call before.
Sure.
To where we did have a pipe burst in the kitchen, and it was our fault. I'm admitting it. Will not happen again, but it was our time.
Yeah.
To where, that's where there's a sense of urgency to take care of a client, right? And that's all you can ask from a contractor. Immediately got out there that day and made it right. And out of my pocket, replaced anything that needed to be replaced. In summary, that's the thing you want to look at, and that's a part of having great reviews and so many referrals from clients. Is it comes back to do what's right for people, and stand by your word. If you say you're going to do a good job and you're confident in what you're doing, if anything does go wrong, I'll stand up, be a man, take care of it.
Yeah, I love that. Integrity, baseline integrity. Yeah. Okay, so let's just a couple fun things. So first, tell me, what is the most challenging and or the most fun project you guys have ever done?
Ooh, gosh, that's a tough one. We've done some fun ones. Crazy enough, I might be weird for this. Sometimes the most challenging is also the most fun.
Oh, 100%.
It'll
Same
drive me
for
the
us.
craziest, but then it's also the most rewarding. One of the coolest things that I think that we did, and it's because I'm a big sports guy also, is there was actually a house down in North Dallas.
Okay.
It was a past customer of ours that they bought a new house. We worked on their other house. They bought a new house. A year later, they called us. The husband, there's this extra, it was almost like a family room or den. Or actually, it was going to be it was actually a very large bedroom. That's what it was.
Okay.
That didn't really make sense in the whole layout of the house, and they didn't need that bedroom. But he had a golf simulator that he wanted extremely bad. All right. And so that was fun because we had to, was it possible for us to take this room that had an 8-foot ceiling and raise it up to make it a 10-foot ceiling
simulator
to give him, the room he needs to swing and hook everything else up. And that's exactly what we did, and we did it. It wasn't even that fancy of a project, but it was awesome afterwards to be able to see this was a bedroom. Now this guy's in here, it's just like his man cave with a golf simulator in there playing golf. But I have a ton of stories. I mean, some of the most rewarding also is like when you completely transform a space.
Yes.
So, we had this other house that we recently completed in Fairview. And, taking what was a very small master bathroom and a very small master closet in a massive bedroom that was too big to where we could actually build the master closet in that bedroom and a fitness center in that bedroom and still have a massive master bedroom. Turning that bathroom and using that closet space and expanding it all the way down to turn it into one of the best master bathrooms I've ever seen.
Yeah, the before and afters.
It's awesome. And, that's what we've done with a lot of your projects too. I mean, the details of what you all do, I'll say this, that there's nothing that feels better because I'm not coming up with all those details.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
You're just building them.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But the combination of, where to do paint, where to do stain, what type of stain, what kind of detail on the cabinets, the hardware, all that stuff that all just comes together. When you see it at the end, it's like, wow, we did that.
Yeah.
And that's a good feeling. It's like mowing the grass and turning around and saying, wow, look what I just did.
I love that you just use that analogy. Sounds like my husband. Okay, so tell me, you guys are on tons and tons of projects right now. Like, what are some, our watchers, they love to hear all about the trends. Like, what are some kitchen trends that you're seeing or bathroom trends you're like, man, we're getting asked for this, this, and this over and over and over. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the use of large format tile is really what we're getting a lot of right now. Luxury vinyl planks.
And just so they know, large format tile.
Large format, I mean, so we're talking about pieces of tile that are 24 inches by 48 inches or even bigger, to where it almost looks like a slab on a wall.
Yes.
We're using that a lot in bathrooms, a lot in shower walls, a lot on the floors. I've seen that. We've seen a lot of dual shower heads. Yeah. With diverters and handhelds.
All the fancy stuff.
Yep, all the fancy stuff. A lot of chandeliers in bathrooms now.
Oh, yeah. We love a good chandelier in a
My
bathroom.
wife tries to push a chandelier in our master bedroom. I'm like, we cannot get rid of the fans. So that's, but yeah, the large format tile, that's a big trend. I've also seen more pops in color lately, which is fun. That's awesome.
It's fun.
I've seen a lot of greens, a lot of, colors that, it's interesting throughout the years how everybody's going to the grays. I've seen the grays kind of coming out and everybody going to the whites, everything white. Now I'm seeing, okay, let's keep the white, but now let's add pops of color with different stuff. And I love it. It's just like a clean, awesome look that isn't all just white.
Makes it fun.
It makes it fun, so... I would say that as I see the transition of moving away from the grays to back to some of the warmer colors now. The large format tiles and also I guess you would have a word for it, but basically the combination of more of modern and traditional feels. Is that transitional? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, the mixing of styles. Yes, there you go. Yeah. Perfect. Well, is there anything else that we have not talked about that you're just like, homeowner, you need to know this when working with a contractor? Like any last words?
I've pretty much said it. No, I mean, find somebody that has good references. Look online because also, obviously, if you ask a contractor for references, the contractor's going to give you good references. Shocker. I'm not going to give you a bad one. So that's the same with everybody. So looking at, Google, looking at the BBB, looking at people's reputation, looking at their Instagram, looking at their Facebook, what kind of work are they doing? Do your due diligence and your research. And, you could even go see examples of their work. That's a little harder to coordinate sometimes, but those are the things that I would do. Find somebody that you feel, and if you got that gut feeling about somebody that's not right, you should probably trust that gut feeling. But find somebody that you feel like is a stand-up, honest person that has a great reputation online. And if they're referred by someone else, that also, goes a long ways. And so, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. If it does make sense, still do your due diligence. Make sure.
That's good. And I would add to that too of, like, we always recommend get at least 2 bids, just so that you can kind of compare and contrast how, everybody works a little bit different. And when you get a lemon, it's going to be real obvious that one of them was a lemon when you have somebody else come in. But yeah, do your due diligence, and not to, I think homeowners, renovations are expensive. And so in trying to cut cost, I think a lot of them go with the really low ball bid, which every now and then can be legitimate.
Correct. It's
more rare because it's usually the higher detail bids like yours. They're coming in higher, but there's a reason. It's because there's not surprises. Correct. Or someone's not shooting a number so low to get the job, and then they pull the wool over your eyes and
Correct.
all the things.
You're 100% correct. The lowest bid is usually not the one to go with. I'll just going to throw that out there, unless it's very close.
Yeah,
close,
right.
Right. But if they're significantly lower, there's a lot to question there. And I've seen it too much. And that's one of the hardest things that, we've got to overcome in our business is you hear so many horror stories of what contractors have done, which blows my mind because in the end, you have no business unless you have a good reputation. Yeah. We're in the business of serving people and making people happy and doing what we say we're going to do. So when you don't do that, if the people that you're getting quotes from, they don't have a name or a brand to even protect, there's also that. Mm-hmm. There's a reason that we are good at what we do, and it's taken years of finding the right people and putting the right people in place to make sure that the best quality of job's done. I wish I could say I started that way, but there's been a lot of contractors that I've had to move away from. Because they didn't meet my level of expectation. So we've sourced it. We've sourced the people the ones that don't work directly for us as part of Sugar Home, that are our subcontractors. Most of these subcontractors work for us every day. They're our crews. They're our friends. Yeah. And we trust them with everything. So yeah, I'll quit being so long-winded, but I'm passionate about it.
But it's good. That's important. Yeah. Well, thanks for sitting down with me and talking all things contractor. You guys, if you have any questions for me, any questions for Blake, make sure to drop them in the comments below. If they're for Blake, we'll make sure to get them to him, and then we'll get you those responses. You guys know the drill. If you would like and subscribe us, that way we can continue to give you guys more and better content each week, and we will see you next time.